Here's another podcast interview from the WJCW Morning Team, Thinking Out Loud.
Time to chat with Ed Phillips about those Brown Mountain Lights. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Tell us about your job there in Burke County. What do you do?
I am the Director of Tourism, and my responsibilities are to bring people to Burke County for a variety of reasons, whether they're here on a business trip. We don't have really convention facilities. We have small meetings that occur here. We have the third largest number of state employees by county in North Carolina. So even though we're in western North Carolina, we do have a lot of facilities that are state-owned, state-maintained. But our big attraction is our scenic outdoors.
Oh, yeah.
And with the Pisgah National Forest, the Catawba River, the lakes here, we have beautiful Lake James, the Linville Gorge, which is the deepest, most scenic gorge east of the Rockies, in my opinion.
Now, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, as the crow flies, you're not too far away from where we are in the Tri-Cities of East Tennessee, and with the price of gasoline, I guess we'll use that term staycation a lot again, this at least during the first part of the spring and summer season, as folks look for attractions that are rather close to home rather than driving long distances. And tell us about the Brown Mountain Lights and why some of our listeners might want to go over and see if they can spot them. First of all, give us a little background on the Brown Mountain Lights.
Well, the Brown Mountain Lights are a legend, but it's a legend that is based in fact.
Ah, okay.
And the lights, first of all, let me say this. I tell everybody this. The lights are real. Thousands of people have seen the lights for hundreds of years. They were seen long before electricity, automobiles, trains came to this area. Early settlers saw the lights. They've been noted in various publications that go back to the 1700s. And they say, people say, well, I've been there 20 times and haven't seen them. There are other people that go and say they see them every time.
Wow.
So, I'm not really sure about all that, but the lights are seen on a regular basis.
Well, have you seen them?
I have not seen them, but only because I haven't really looked for them.
Okay.
Now, we have had a symposium a few weeks ago. We took some folks up to see them. It was very cold and the wind was blowing very hard. But there are people out there that are credible witnesses that have seen these lights at various times. Some people have even seen them up close, let's say within 50 feet. And those are the stories, I think, that really intrigue me and some of the researchers are people that had a close encounter, if you will, with these lights and had a very vivid and pretty common description of what they saw.
Yeah, share that, please.
And, well, one gentleman, his name is Stephen Woody. Stephen lives here in Burke County, is 61 years old, and back in the early 60s on a hunting trip with his father, these lights came through the woods while they were sitting in their pickup truck waiting for daylight to go deer hunting. And these lights meandered down through the woods behind them, lit up the whole area. Steve described them as about 4 feet in diameter, 10 to 12 feet off the ground, traveling as a pair. And it's really interesting, he did use the word traveling. He said these lights came through the woods. They didn't bump into anything like a floating balloon, if you can imagine, floating in the air mass would bump into a tree or an obstacle. These lights moved through the woods and never touched anything. If they came to a tree or it came to a rock outcropping, they went around it or over it. And that's the thing that raises the hair up on the back of my neck.
Well, Ed, we're thinking out loud with Ed Phillips, who's Tourism Director of Burke County, North Carolina, about the Brown Mountain Lights. Ed, there's got to be 1,000 theories about what these are. What are some of the most prominent ones?
Well, there's been legends about Indian maidens are out carrying lanterns looking for their warriors who never returned, and other legends along that same path. But the research that has been done by a couple of different people seem to suggest that these are some sort of plasma balls, meaning that it is a low-voltage electrical charge that when all the atmospheric conditions are just perfect, they glow.
Like St. Elmo's fire on airplanes?
The lightning is kind of what that's also been determined. But in this case, they appear low on the ground. It's not a significant electrical charge. Some people have reported feeling the hair, stand up. It's kind of like a static electricity event. There was another gentleman back in the 80s that claims to have actually had a light come up off the hill below the road where he was standing right in his face, and he touched it. He stuck his arm in the light. And there were witnesses, and I have actually interviewed several of the witnesses, and amazing tale.
Have any of these ever been captured on film or video?
Yes. If you go to YouTube and type in Brown Mountain Lights, you will find, they're on the internet, you will find a video that has been captured from 3 or 4 different sources, different people.
Okay.
And you will see similarities in these lights. You will see similarities in their movement, the glow of the lights, and these are all from a distance, from about 2.5 miles away. Most of these were captured from the Brown Mountain Overlook, which is a gravel parking lot with some interpretive signs on Highway 181, which is about 15 miles north of Morganton, not far from the community of Jonas Ridge and Linville. And so anyway, these images were captured. There have also been some still images captured, and the still images that have been enlarged that I've seen, they look like an inverted drop of water. So kind of like maybe like a hot air balloon where the bulb is at the top and then it comes down underneath to like a point at the bottom.
You know what I think this is, Ed?
What?
I think this is a nefarious plot by the Burke County Tourism Department. No, this is fascinating. I've just checked on YouTube, and sure enough, there's lots of different videos relating to it right here. So I'm going to check this out later myself.
Yeah. It's a very interesting mystery, and there are 2 other places in the world where mysterious lights similar to this occur on a regular basis. The only other places in the United States is a place called Marfa, Texas, and they have lights that appear out in the desert, and people go out to an overlook, and there's lots of images, videos, and still pictures of that. But we want more images, and we want more video. And so in the next week or two, we are going to announce a contest to capture on camera or on video cameras these lights. And this will be announced through we have a Facebook page, which has just recently been launched on facebook.com/Brown Mountain Lights.
Okay. Is that all one word, or is it 3 words?
It is 3 words.
Okay.
3 words. And we also have information on the front page of our Burke County Tourism website, which is discoverburkecounty.com, which is all spelled out as well.
Well, Ed, we must wrap up the conversation one more time for those listeners of ours here in the Tri-Cities area who are interested in trying to see those Brown Mountain Lights. Give us the directions.
Well, if you're coming from your area, you're going to cross into Tennessee there in I believe it's Newland area. And
cross into North Carolina.
Right in North Carolina. Highway 181 north of Morganton, there is a broad overlook. And it is called the Brown Mountain Overlook, and you can see the Brown Mountain Range. It's about 2.5 miles away across the valley there, and that's one great place to see it. The other place that a lot of folks have seen the lights is also in the Linville Gorge, which is 2 ridges west of the Brown Mountain Range, and there they see them from a place called Wiseman's View, and Wiseman's View is in the Pisgah National Forest off of Old Highway 105. Not far from the Linville Falls community.
And Scotty Wiseman wrote the song, The Legend of the Brown Mountain Lights.
High on the mountain, night after night.
That's it.
Ed, thank you so very much, and let's stay in touch.
Yeah, when you get the results of that contest, get back in touch with us. We'd like to hear how it turns out.
Yes, we would, and I'll be glad to do that.
Thanks,
guys,
Ed.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bookmark this page and return for more Thinking Out Loud podcast interviews by The Morning